we got to maximize what we do well, and we've done some things well at times. We got to make sure that we're maximizing all of that and minimizing what we don't do well. And I'm not sure we're doing a great job of that right now, and that's something we're going to evaluate closely.
What do you want to maximize? What in your mind does the offense do well and you want to focus on more?
Yeah, I think a couple of things. Number one, we got to make sure we're playing the right personnel that can make the plays that are necessary. Number two, we got to be difficult enough. We can't just line up and be vanilla. We're just not. We've proven we're not that offense that can just line up and say we're going to run it and play action. Yeah. I think we've got a quarterback that's pretty accurate and can throw the football. We got a running back, and I think when we have Keyshawn, we got a 1-2 there that we got to do a little bit better job and even some two-back stuff, and we got to get our best people out there. So, there's some things we've done well over 7 games, and we need to go back and take a look at those and make sure that they're a big part of what we do.
Do you allow yourself to play the what-if game and think how that game might have transpired differently if day one catches that ball behind the secondary?
Yeah, that's all part of it, right? You can point to any one play. If Daquan, if we don't have the turnover, if we don't let them score, obviously the dropped ball, we get behind the secondary, you got to take advantage of it. And, that's a game changer. Again, I think that there's things that we do well. We can't come out there and play like we did for half of football. The defense, we weren't contesting catches. We didn't get after the quarterback enough, but we bent, but we made them kick field goals. We hung in there, but we couldn't score any points. That thing could be a little bit different. Put a few points on the board in the first half, and the whole outcome's different.
You mentioned it a little bit there. What was your evaluation of the defensive performance? Gave up a ton of yards, but hung around and give you guys a chance there at the end.
Yeah, I thought we started slow. I thought we were allowing them to catch the ball and tackle them. We got to go compete for balls. That's a big emphasis. We talked about it at halftime. We talked about it on the sideline. We got to be better there. We got after the quarterback better in the second half. I think that made a difference. Obviously, he's a talented guy. They got a great-looking group of wide receivers that can run. A couple of nice tight ends. That's a good-looking football team. But, we can't come out. We can't be a slow starter like that. We just can't. You want to start the game fast, and you start it with a turnover and an easy score. You're behind 7-0 before you blink. And even though we didn't do a lot of things well in the first half, you got a chance to be right there. You're one possession away, and it just took till the fourth quarter, to cash one in.
Hey, Brent. Grant had a couple of nice runs today. Is that an element of his game that we might see a little bit more of going down?
Yeah, we're trying to. He can run, and he's confident in it. Obviously that's one of the things that he brings to the table, and that's a strength that for me has been on my mind. That how much do you really want to run him? How much can we afford to run him? Do we need to do it more? We're going to look at that because I think that's tough to defend. And obviously we got a couple plays for him, but we can expand that package.
Do you feel like the open date now gives you an opportunity for some extra time here to fix some of these things that you're looking at with the what you were just talking about?
Yeah, I think it's obviously you're going to sell scout and do a thorough evaluation of things, and you got time to make some changes. And we got to get well. We got a bunch of guys playing through injuries. We got to get well. We got to heal up, and look at the areas where we can get better individually as coaches and as a unit. Structurally, to make the most of this time.
With the ejection in the first half and those injuries on the defense, how much was that reserves that were helping you kind of stay in the game there in the third quarter?
Yeah, we had a bunch of guys. The secondary right now, we're playing a couple of true freshmen, which, I got to say how proud I am of Mansour. He really did a nice job. They threw at him. You got true freshmen out there that was banged up through preseason camp, really didn't start practicing until we got into the season, and he really has come on. Plays with confidence. went against a good group, a good quarterback, and he really went toe-to-toe, and I thought he played a nice football game. But, Nasir's one of those guys. He's kind of an admiral back there in the secondary. He's a model of consistency, and it just puts a lot of pressure on the other guys, with the unfortunate call that he's out of the game. So, we need him in the rotation for sure.
Brent, what do you think has enabled Mansour to kind of seem to elevate that room over the past few weeks as a true freshman, from coming in early in that Pitt game when Pitt had some momentum in the passing game to today where you guys were relying on him throughout the second half?
Yeah, he's a mature young man. The game's not too big for him. He gets it. He's smart. He's confident. And he's talented. He's got a really nice skill set. He's one of those guys, he's got some safety qualities and he's got some corner qualities. So he's going to do a lot of things over the next couple of years for us.
I know you guys lose the game, but after a fourth quarter like that, what's the message to the team to try and get them to rally around that specific, that performance right there? How do you bottle that
Yeah,
up?
again, I sound like a broken record, but there's just so much evidence of who we can be as a team. And that's what I told him. I said, we got to stop stubbing our toe and finding ways to not make people earn it. I mean, we got to stop that. There's signs of the team that we can be. We got to look at and be accountable as coaches and players in every little area where we can improve and be the player, the coach, the unit that we can be. Because it's there. The evidence is there. There's encouragement despite the loss and the heartbreak. I mean, they played their guts out. They don't quit. Our culture's moving in the right direction. There's still a lot that we have to learn as a team in being a good team, winning close games. Adversity, our confidence, we get shaky with some adversity. And that was apparent today. I think the way the game started, man, we didn't handle it very well. And I got to do a better job. But, these guys, they believe, they fight, in big picture. But in moments, we got to be better. And so, the message was, it's there. You guys see it. And they're all nodding their head. They see it. We just got to be more consistent. We got to play better each and every play. You got to make plays when you have a chance to make them, too.
You've preached that positive message. Do you worry at all that that gets lost a little when the results don't back that up at all?
No, I don't think so. I mean, again, I think there's evidence of the things we're doing well, and you got to build on that. We're not where we want to be, in any sense. Practice habits, dealing with adversity, recruiting, operations. I mean, we're not where we need to be, but we're working in the right direction. I think a team that will fight to the end week after week with heartache, it's a sign of a really good culture and laying the foundation where it needs to be. There's some vital things that we're doing that are important to building a successful program. And I see a lot of that, which is encouraging to me.
You had one punt return today for -1 yard, had a couple that rolled and put you in bad field position. What's missing in the punt return game?
Yeah, we
and
gotta
can you
look
do
at-
anything to change that?
Yeah, we got to look at that. I think we got to look at our returners and make sure we got the best guy out there. The field position was a factor today. I think now they got a really good punter, and he's been a good punter for a little while. But that was a factor. They were able to flip the field a couple of times. We got to do a better job fielding balls. The ones that we should field, we got to make sure we're fielding those. But that worked against us, and in a tight game like that down the stretch, that can be the difference as well.
Against two good defensive fronts, granted, but 9 sacks allowed in the last 2 weeks, 6
Yeah.
today. Is Grant holding on to the ball too long at times?
I think it's a combination of both. I felt that a little bit today. You got to keep his eyes downfield and look for the open receiver, and we got to protect a little better. And for me, again, I look at it through eyes as a defensive play caller. And there's just sometimes it's too easy to get a beat on us. And we got to be able to do a little bit more to make it more challenging to defend us structurally. And then at the same time, make sure we got the best people out there. But I do think that it was a combination of him holding the ball, combination of some protection issues, and they got a nice front.